Yeah, but that leads to the next question.
I guess this should go to Group Captain Sadeeq Shehu now.
Is he ready now?
Yeah, he's ready. He's standing by in Abuja.
Okay, I want you to answer this question. The governor knows the limitations of his powers. He knows that as a security officer, he's a titular head. But he goes ahead and gives the order anyway. Is it less about the governor's powers, but more of a referendum on Nigerian security in the center, that they have woefully failed to do their first duty to the people? And therefore, he says, I have failed, government has failed, you don't fail yourself. Bear arms. And they don't need to go to the police to get their arms. They can get their arms anywhere. Yeah. So we have non-state actors defending themselves against non-state actors, while the state actors look on. Is that what we have now?
Yes. Thank you very much. I heard what my fellow guest is saying, and I will align with him in saying, when we are talking about ownership of guns, let's look at the extant laws. What are the laws and regulations that guard or regulate the ownership of arms by individual citizens? Unfortunately, when you talk of a particular law, the only law we have, the parent law, is the Firearms Act of February 1959. I emphasize 1959, that is to say even before Nigeria became independent. When you talk about gun laws in Nigeria, you find that ultimately you have to go back to this law. Now, apart from the dated nature of this law, there have been some other developments, either by the federal government, by the National Assembly, or by states like Lagos, to regulate the use of arms. If you come down the line, after the 1959 law, you have the Public Armories Notice of 1961, another Public Armories Notice of 1968. Then you have the Firearms Delegation of IGP Responsibilities of 1968. Then you have the Lagos State Firearm Restriction Order of 19 October 1971. Then recently, under the Buhari administration, we have had an executive order issued on 22nd May of 2019, which orders the cancellation of all licenses that have been already issued. And then the National Assembly, started work on a firearm amendment bill of 2021, which didn't go a long way. And then there is the bill of the small arms and light weapons, which gave birth to the organization for which my co-guest is consulting. Then again in 2019, we have the IGP, that is the former IGP, announcing that the police has placed a suspension on the issuance of gun licenses. Now, when you look at all these things, we come back to Governor of Zamfara. Does he have the power to order or direct the Commissioner of Police to issue licenses? The answer is, if you check all these documents, the answer is no. However, that is not to say that the governor does not have a role to play. He has a role of play of conversing with the Commissioner of Police or with the IGP with regards to the situation in his state. In the whole of the Firearms Act, only in 3 places was the governor mentioned with the role he's going to play. First, it says the Commissioner of Police of a state, with consent of the governor of the state, can issue licenses to cover what are called Category 3 weapons. I will come to categories because there are different categories. And then it says the governor also, together with the president, have the responsibility of deciding what is the amount to be paid in his state for the issuance of license. The other role that the governor has is in relation with issuing licenses for those that will manufacture or repair guns, weapons. So these are the only things that the governor has. So I think the governor, with due respect, was not properly advised to come out and say that he has directed or he has ordered the CP to issue weapons in Zamfara State. He does not have those powers. The next issue is the Commissioner of Police himself. Does he even have the powers? Now, the Firearms Act says it gives the power of issuing different kinds of great categories of weapons. It made differentiation among 3 categories of weapons. There is the category 1 weapons, which are prohibited absolutely. Nobody can be given the power to acquire or to possess them, except if you are working with the military or security agencies. These are prohibited weapons. And it is only the president that can allow somebody to have, and that someone has to be either a military or security or intelligence officer. That's government agencies. Then there are category 2 weapons. Category 2 weapons are called personal weapons. These ones are the shotguns that normally people obtain, which police normally listen. And in those ones, the IGP is the one that will issue licenses for such weapons. However, in the Firearms Act, there is a provision for the IGP to delegate his powers to any police officer. Here we can say maybe the police commissioner or even somebody of a divisional police officer. He can delegate that power, but it is the power incomes on him. Then the third category of weapons, we are talking of muzzle loading weapons, then guns, flintlocks, all those kind of things. Those ones is within the purview of the commissioner of police to issue with consent from the state governor. The state governor, with regards to those category 3, I emphasize only category 3, he can do an order in conversation with the commissioner of police that waves of such order in such state, such weapon, which are this category, license can be issued subject to the following conditions. He has to state the conditions under which this, including health, eyesight, conviction of violence. All these are things that can disqualify somebody from getting even those category 3. But I emphasize, because I see some people saying bandits have AK-47, we should get AK-47. Those are category 1 weapons. Any weapons that uses 7.62 millimeter bullet or 9 millimeter bullet or 0.303 inch bullet or 0.300 bullet, all those ones can never be issued except somebody is working with federal agencies.